Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Matthew Sports Talk. And guess what today is? You better believe it is Thursday, September 5th, the start of the NFL season, baby. Let us start with waving that flag. Yeah, baby, it's finally here! NFL season! All right. And of course, we have to do the favorites, the NFL theme songs. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So here we go. The 2024 NFL season prediction by yours truly. Oh, man. It's exciting times. Exciting times. All right. Meant to do this episode a lot earlier, but, a lot of different shit has been going on in my life. As you all know, or some of you know, I had a boyfriend, but I have since broken up with said boyfriend, so we're no longer together, but I'm doing okay, I prepared myself for the possibility, that he was, a liar and a cheat and, ended up breaking my trust on him too many times. So I digress. Let us begin with, we will start with the preseason before week 1 power rankings. All right. So we're going to go from the bottom all the way to the top. And this doesn't necessarily is based off of how I think they're going to end, but it's how I think, like, record-wise, it's going to be pre-specific pattern. So, without any further ado, here we go. Starting at the bottom, number 32. This team will be the 4th place team in the NFC South, and if you aren't not surprised by this one, you should not be surprised by this one. It's the Carolina Panthers. I have them ending 1-16 on the season. I mean, there's just nothing exciting about what's going on with the Panthers right now. I mean, yeah, Bryce Young is getting more and more development, but I mean, I just don't see anything exciting going on there. I mean, I feel bad also for Adam Thielen, my former Minnesota Viking and former Minnesota boy. He's stuck there. So yeah, so there's that. At number 31 in 4th place of the AFC South is the Tennessee Titans. And, very rarely do you ever have history happen in the NFL. 17-0 season, very, very rare. Hard to make happen. Also, something very, 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 very rare is 0-17. Has only happened a very few times. That is what I think is going to happen with the Tennessee Titans this year. I look at their schedule and, maybe they have 1 or 2 chances at a win, but I just don't see nothing exciting for this team. I just don't. So there's that. At number 30 is for the AFC West, 4th place, Raiders, 1-16. I have a friend who I know that's a Raiders fan. He says he doesn't want his team to see 3 wins. He wants his team to win as least as possible because he has no expectations for the Raiders this season. Some fans just know the truth. It's like when the writing's on the wall, the writing's on the wall. So I have the Raiders ending 1-16, 4th place of the AFC West. Moving on to number 29, which is 4th place of the AFC East, the New England Patriots. I have ending at 2-15. I originally earlier, a couple weeks ago, had the Patriots at number 32. I think they benefit from a couple of just really, really bad teams. And this is the thing. There are definitely going to be some separation between some teams this season. I feel like there's going to be some teams that are really, really, really good, and there are going to be some teams that are really, really, really bad. So you'll see eventually in my rankings, there's a little bit of a difference between like the bottom of the half of the league and the top half of the league. So there's that. All right, so Patriots, number 29, 2-15. 28 at 2-15 for the 3rd place of the AFC West, the Denver Broncos. To me, honestly, it's a toss-up between the Broncos and the Raiders, who's going to be last place of that division. They both, you know, Broncos 2-15, third place of the AFC West. It's honestly a toss-up between them and the Raiders, who's going to end up in last place of that division. I don't think. I mean, Broncos, like, really, you got that hard-ass Sean Payton as the coach. I mean, you drafted Bo Nix, which, honest to God, like, I'm sorry, but I smell bullshit a mile away. No way did Sean Payton actually want to draft Bo Nix. He probably wanted J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix. You know, he wanted one of those two guys. He was probably had his eyes set on one of those two. And then, of course, you know, the Falcons, being the dumbasses that they were, snagged Michael Penix. So, yeah, ruined his plans. He had to end up with Bo Nix. So, nothing exciting about the Broncos that I think is going to happen this year. And at number 27, with a record of 3-14 for the fourth place of the NFC East, the New York Giants. Who's excited about that team? Like, honestly, Daniel Jones, as I predicted back when they gave him the extension of that was worth $40 million a year, has since tanked and is now, you know, essentially a bottom-dwelling quarterback. You know, they drafted Malik Neighbors, but are they going to be able to get him the ball? There's no Saquon Barkley. Lost them to the Eagles, no less, a division rival. And their defense, like, who seriously is on the Giants' defense? There is nothing exciting about the New York Giants. I'm sorry, but if you're a New York Giants fan, you must be depressed. Nothing exciting about that team. Just period. At number 26, at 5-12, third place of the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, like I said, the NFL quarterback market is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Given Trevor Lawrence a $55 million year extension, not even winning a playoff game. The only playoff game he played in, they had the lead and blew it. Doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever, I digress. All right, 25, 5-12 in the third place of the NFC South, New Orleans Saints. You know, the Saints, honest to God, you know, I think it's time to just start a complete rebuild. Like, Derek Carr is getting older. I mean, he still has a little bit of juice left, but he's pretty much almost on empty. I mean, still got some offensive talent pieces. Obviously, you got Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, stuff like that. Defense is getting older. Whichever talent you had there that was really, really good is getting older and isn't as efficient anymore. So I think it's about time to start, you know, refreshing, recycling, and stuff like that. Just saying. So, number 24, fourth place of the NFC West. Might be a surprise to some people. Seattle Seahawks. I have them in the inning 4-13. Seahawks are just not the team that they used to be. Pete Carroll left. They got a new guy now. Can't even remember his name. Geno Smith is a mid-level QB at best. I mean, you have Jackson Smith in your butt, and you have DK Metcalf, and, you know, Kenneth Walker, and all those different offensive firepowers. But, I mean, that only gets you so far, especially with the defense that's no longer the Legion of Boom, you know. I don't think Seahawks fans are going to have anything to cheer for this season. I really don't. And I'm kind of surprised. There are some people out there predicting the Seahawks to be in playoff positions. I'm sorry. I don't see them getting anywhere near. I just don't see it. So, yeah, that's the Seahawks. And number 23, at the third place for the NFC West at 5-12, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the margin of error between the Cardinals and the Seahawks, where their positions at, being third and fourth in the NFC West, pretty close. The only reason I have the Cardinals ahead of the Seahawks is because there is something there to, you know, that's interesting. I mean, you got Kyle Murray. Hopefully he can turn things around. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., who looks like the second coming of, you know, Marvin Harrison, you know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvin Harrison Jr. come 2-3 years as the best wide receiver in the league. I wouldn't be surprised. So there's definitely something to be excited about if you're a Cardinals fan for the future. Number 22 for the third place of the NFC East, the Washington Commanders at 5-12. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people have the Commanders being a sneaky dark horse for the playoffs. I don't mind that. That actually is. I mean, granted, it all depends on how well Dan Quinn, the new head coach, can make Jaden Daniels work. I mean, because I don't think they retained Eric Bieniemy when they changed over the staff. Maybe they did. I can't remember, but. Actually, let me do some checking now. Google. Washington Commanders football staff. Here we go. Coaches. Head coach, Dan Quinn, we know this. Oh, no, that's right. Cliff Kingsbury is their offensive coordinator. That's right. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. I don't know. Maybe Cliff Kingsbury can make Jaden Daniels turn into something. They do have Terry McLaughlin, Scary Terry and stuff like that. So we'll have to see. 21 for the fourth place of the NFC North, the Chicago Bears at 6-11. I'm sorry, guys. For Bears fans who are hoping that, Caleb Williams becomes CJ Stroud of this season, I'm not seeing it. I do not see Matt Eberflus making Caleb Williams proficient this season. I think Caleb Williams struggles. I think because of the fact that he struggles, Matt Eberflus is fired, and the Bears bring in an offensive-minded head coach for the future. Doesn't mean that I don't think the Bears are going to be good in the near future. I'm just saying this season. I know they added a lot of pieces, but the thing is, when it comes to adding talent pieces, you don't want to be just throw a whole bunch of different things into the mix and hope that it works. You want to be able to develop and have the homegrown talent. The only guy that's currently on that offense right now that was from last season is DJ Moore. And I think David Montgomery. All the other guys, they drafted Rome Odunze. They traded for Keenan Allen, all those other guys were all acquired. So, yeah, there's that. At number 20, second place of the AFC South is the Indianapolis Colts, who win and 7-10. Colts, you got Anthony Richardson back, I think your offense will do some damage this season. Your defense, I don't know who's on the defense. I don't know who's good on your defense, so that's why you're that low. All right, and now you see a little bit of a gap between between the Colts and the rest of this. So pretty much all the teams above the Colts who are at number 20 in my power rankings are teams that are in playoff contention. They have a record that puts them near a playoff seed. So we'll start with at number 19, with a record of 10-7, the fourth place team in the AFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-7. Mike Tomlin continues his record of winning seasons, but he'll be just out of playoff contention. Yeah, he'll be a game behind, and then I think it'll be either ninth place. I think it'd be ninth place or 10th place. I didn't bother to actually put down where they're at in the standings because I knew once we got past the playoff positioning, it didn't really matter. So I believe that with their record, it's a fourth place finish in the AFC North. Then at number 18, we have the third place team of the NFC North, which is your truly Minnesota Vikings. number 18, I have the Minnesota Vikings ending 10-7 as the third place team of the NFC North, and that puts them squarely as the number 7 seed. I'll go a little bit more depth into this on probably like Saturday night or Sunday morning when I go over the Vikings schedule and tell you what my predictions are. But I need you guys to understand this. There's evidence that backs this up. For the past 10 years, with the exception of, I believe, the last 2 years of the Zimmer years, the Vikings have always followed a non-playoff season with a playoff season. Ergo, we didn't make the playoffs last season, we'll make the playoffs this season. And you guys just gotta look. Like, honestly, the only question mark is Sam Darnold. And even then, it's like, we don't need him to be, like, all spectacular. Like, we don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes or any shit like that. We just need him to play competent quarterback play. Not to force the ball. Not to turn over the ball a crap load. Just competent quarterback play. You have the offensive weapons. All right? You have Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison, who supposedly will be suspended for the start of the season, you know, I have yet to see like an official announcement on that, so it's kind of weird. And then running back, you got Aaron Jones, who is a play action stud. You know, you got Ty Chandler, who can be a power back. TJ Hawkinson will be on the IR for the start of the season, you know, supposedly for the first 4 to 6 weeks, which is a bummer. I mean, you still have some competent tight ends, and, you know, you have a solid O-line. And then you switch over to the defense. You lost to Neil Hunter, I know, but he was getting older. You got younger. You had signed Jonathan Grenard. You drafted Dallas Turner. You added Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman. You got Stephon Gilmore. And here's the thing. Brian Flores always makes the defense play hard and above talent level. I've always noticed this. You guys don't give Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell enough credit for last season. If they weren't able to produce competent, you know, like there's so many, like there is no way we would have ended 7-10 last season and in playoff contention until the last month of the season without KOC and Brian Flores. Most teams would have folded if they lost their, you know, if they were without their best, if they were without their quarterback for half the season and their best wide receiver for half the season. I bet you most teams would have folded and probably ended like with 4 wins or less. Vikings ended 7-10 and were in the playoff race until the last month of the season. Just think about that for a minute, please. So many of these Vikings fans, I swear to God, y'all just need to. You have no confidence. This is the problem with us. You gotta have some confidence. Like me. Alright? So just confidence. Confidence, guys. Confidence. Alright. So yeah, I'll go more into detail on that later. But now we got number 17. We got the second place team of the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys, who I have ending at 9-8. The Cowboys will actually miss the playoffs. They will be, you know, the number 9 team. I'll explain to you why. So they extended CeeDee Lamb, correct? Meaning they did not extend Dak Prescott, which means he will be a free agent after this season. It makes no logical sense to keep him around if you're not going to extend him. You might as well trade him during the season while you can still get something for him. It's just a matter of when. And then it got Trey Lance as a backup. Oh God, yeah. No, I feel sorry for Cowboys fans because I mean, as soon as you saw the news that it was CeeDee Lamb and not Dak Prescott that was extended, you know, you pretty much knew your season was over and that you weren't going to make the playoffs. Like, it was evident. And I'm saying you shouldn't have extended CeeDee Lamb. You definitely should have extended him. You should definitely extend Micah Parsons when you can. Because those guys are talented guys, and you're going to need them as cornerstones for whoever you're going to bring in as a quarterback. CeeDee Lamb is probably in the top 5 of wide receivers in the league. So, yeah. So, it is what it is. All right, so number 16, we have the third place of the AFC North. The Cleveland Browns, I have ending at 10-7, and once again, just missing the playoffs as the number, I believe, 9 seed. Cleveland Browns, their defense is solid. They have offensive weapons. The only question is Deshaun Watson. Can he be anywhere close to the guy he used to be? If that's the only question mark that needs to be answered, Browns could probably win that division, maybe. But that's the only question mark. All right. Number 14. Oh, wait, no. I meant number 15. All right, number 15, second place of the AFC North is the Cleveland Browns at 11-6, and they are the number 7 seed of the AFC. That's right, you heard that correctly. A team that is 11-6 is going to be the number 7 seed in the AFC. That's how good I think the AFC is going to be. And the Bengals, they were able to get everyone back. But you still have to wonder what's going to happen with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins past this season. So, yeah, I think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs, but beyond that, it's unknown. All right. At number 14, at 10-7, the first place team of the NFC South. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird, but this is where I have them right now. Number 14, 10-7. I think they're going to end as the first place team of the NFC South is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Baker Mayfield has definitely turned a corner and has changed my perception on him. He worked his ass off to get that team into the playoffs last season and to win the NFC North and to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. He deserves credit for that. So, yeah. And they still have a pretty good defense with Anton Winfield Jr., which it pains me so much that he's not on our team. But I digress. Still got Chris Evans, still got Chris Godwin, The Buccaneers are a solid team and are definitely in the playoff race. And I believe, depending on how the schedule goes, they will end 10-7 and first place of the NFC South. Now, at number 13 is the team that I originally had winning the NFC South, but because of how I predicted their schedule, they end up in second place. At 10-7, second place of the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons. I think it came down to divisional record. So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, yeah, that's how I ended up at. Kirk Cousins, he's old. He's coming off an Achilles. It's like, and yet you drafted Michael Penix Jr. I just don't know why. You're wasting 2 years of either Cousins contracts or Michael Penix. It just makes no sense, guys. Like, seriously. All right, at number 12 and third place of the AFC East is the Miami Dolphins at 11-6. They are the number 6 seed. Oh, wait, no. No, they are the number 8 seed, actually. Sorry. Cincinnati wins the tiebreaker over Miami based on common games. So, yeah, you have the Miami Dolphins as the number 8 seed, ending 11-6, just missing the playoffs because of a tiebreaker. That's gotta hurt. And the thing is, this year about the AFC East, I see 3 teams that could potentially win it. Dolphins could win it. Bills, I think, could win it. And Jets, I think, could win it. So, you'll see in a minute, how close I have them. So, number 11, second place of the NFC North is the Green Bay Packers at 10-7. The Packers finished ahead of the Vikings because of divisional record. I believe I have the Packers going 4-2 in the division, and I believe the Vikings I have going 2-4. Packers, I have losing 2 games in the division, 1 game at Minnesota and then at Detroit. I think Minnesota only wins 2 games, a game at home against Chicago and a game at home against Green Bay. So, yeah. You gave Jordan Love $55 million. Congratulations. Now see if he's worth it. That's how I feel about that. And then, you also lost A.J. Dillon for the season. Now you wish you kept Aaron Jones, huh? Huh, Packer fans? It makes me so happy when we can snag up old Packer players and turn them into Vikings players, because so often, every time that happens, they're better when they're in purple than when they were in green. Like, think about it. Brett Favre had his best season as a Minnesota Viking. Greg Jennings had a really good season as a Minnesota Viking. Za'Darius Smith, after being acquired by the Vikings, had a better season than he did in Green Bay. And now there's Aaron Jones. Just watch. I bet you he's going to have a crazy season. Oh, I laughed so hard I started choking. But yeah, just wait. Okay. So now we are into the top 10 of my rankings. All right, here we go. Number 10, second place of the AFC East. 12-5 Buffalo Bills. Still have Josh Allen, but once again, they have injuries on their defense. Milano's gone for the season. No more Stephon Diggs, your top receiver. I don't even know who your top receiver is. So Josh Allen's going to have to work a lot harder. I still think you guys could possibly win the AFC East. You'll definitely, I think, make the playoffs. I don't think you'll fall off the playoffs. I don't think things are that bad in Buffalo. And you also, guys, you traded away the pick that essentially gave the Kansas City Chiefs, your arch rivals, Tyreek Hill 2.0. It's like, what are you doing? Just what are you doing? Similarly to Atlanta drafting Michael Penix, that received a draft grade of D for dumb. Almost an F for failure. I don't like to give grades like that during the NFL draft, but I mean, what Atlanta did obviously was D for dumb. Buffalo could almost be an F for failure, but I gave them a D, so. Sorry, let me get one more sip. Buffalo, number 9. First place of the AFC East at 13-4, the New York Jets. Now, I know some of you are like, really? 13-4 with old man Rodgers? Just hear me out, okay? They have offensive weapons. Their defense is absolutely loaded. The only real question mark is, how is Aaron Rodgers going to look as a 40-year-old coming off an Achilles injury? I mean, they were lucky that injury happened pretty much in the first play of the last season, because he's had plenty of time to recover and everything. So, yeah, I think it's just, we have to see. But I think the Jets do have a good shot at winning that division. So, yeah. Then you have number 8. The Baltimore Ravens, 12-5, first place of the AFC North. No surprise there. Still a good team, although I do think there's going to be a little bit of a hangover from losing the AFC Championship game, which I'll talk about in a second. All right, I'll try to get these through much more quickly because I think we're 35 minutes in, so yeah. Number 7, 12-5, first place of the NFC North, Detroit Lions. Similar to the Ravens, probably a little bit hung over because of that NFC championship loss, but still good. Added a few things, still lethal. Number 6, second place of the AFC West. Get ready for this, folks. 14-3, second place of the AFC West. Los Angeles Chargers. You heard me right. I think the Chargers are going to win 14 games this season, and here's why. Justin Herbert finally has a competent coach in Jim Harbaugh. Not the idiot that Brandon Staley was. A competent quarterback who understands how to call offenses. He's going to unlock Justin Herbert to be the quarterback that we all know he could be. And yeah, they don't really have any wide receivers, but they'll make it work, and they'll probably use the ground and pound game like that Harbaugh did when he was at Michigan and stuff like that. So just wait. I feel like Chargers are a team to watch. Number 5, second place of the NFC West, ending 12-5. The Rams, you got Stafford still is a good quarterback. Puka Nacua is a stud. Cooper Kupp, even though he's getting older, still a good wide receiver, Defense still lethal, so yeah. Number 4, first place of the NFC East. Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4. Only question mark really is your offensive line because you lost Jason Kelce to retirement. Everyone else is getting old and stuff like that. You added Saquon, which is going to help relieve pressure on Jalen Hurts because you can use him in the play action. You short up your secondary, which was the major concern coming out of last season. So yeah, I think the Eagles are definitely a team to watch. Number 3, first place of the AFC South at 14-3, the Houston Texans. Watch this team. CJ Stroud is an absolute stud. They added Stephon Diggs. They added Danielle Hunter. This team is absolutely loaded from top to bottom. They will go crazy in the AFC. Just trust me, all right? Number 2, first place of the NFC West, San Francisco 49ers, 14-3. They re-signed Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. But when it comes to Super Bowl losers, there's always a little bit of a hangover. And once again, I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Then obviously, number 1 should be no surprise. This team has been good for multiple years because of who their quarterback is. His name is Patrick Mahomes. The team is the Kansas City Chiefs. They will end 15-2 and in first place of the AFC West. I had this idiot who said that Patrick Mahomes this week. I'm like, have you watched any fucking football the last 5 years? Last 5 years, the guy has won 3 Super Bowls, including a season like last year where the team honestly wasn't that good throughout the regular season and finally got their shit together for the playoffs. So, yeah. And they still have Travis Kelce. Still have all their running backs, They added that guy. I forget his name. Tyreek Hill 2.0. They still have Rashee Rice. Re-signed Chris Jones. Their defense is still there. Almost all the pieces are still there, and they even added some. So, yeah. There's that. Okay, guys. Gotta get through this quick. I think we're approaching the 40-minute mark. So, playoff predictions. For the wild card. The number 2 seed against the number 7 seed. Philadelphia against Minnesota. Sadly enough, Philadelphia is going to win that game. Sorry, Vikings fans. Not saying I don't have any confidence in the team making the playoffs, but I think they'll just make the playoffs and then they'll run into a really, really good team against Philadelphia, all right? You got the number 5 seed Rams and the number 4 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Rams are going to be the Buccaneers. Number 6 seed Packers, I have over the 3rd seed Lions. That's an upset right there. Over on the AFC side, I have 2nd seed Houston over 7th seed Cincinnati. I have number 6 seed Buffalo over number 3 seed New York Giants. And then I have number 4 seed Baltimore over number 5 seed Chargers. All right, divisional round. Here we go. You got first the number 1 seed 49ers over the number 6 seed Green Bay Packers. And then you got the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles over the number 5 seed Los Angeles Rams in a very, very close game. A very, very good game. Eagles and Rams is going to be a very, very good game. Trust me. All right, and then over on the AFC side, I got number 2 Houston over number 4 Baltimore. And then I got number 1 Chiefs over the number 6 Buffalo Bills. Once again, not a surprise. Buffalo can beat Kansas City in the regular season, but can't beat them in the playoffs. So, yeah. Now, championship round. I have the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles being the number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers in the NFC. Still a good game. Still going to be close, but I just think Philadelphia has a slight edge over the 49ers right now. And then on the AFC side, another good game. It's going to be number 1 Kansas City over number 2 Houston. Still, I think a very, very close game. It's going to be a very, very good game, interesting game. It's going to be a absolute war between Patrick Mahomes and CJ Stroud, but I think Patrick Mahomes will come out on top. And then my Super Bowl prediction is, drumroll please, dun, Philadelphia Eagles over the Kansas City Chiefs. My predicted score is 28-24. Yep, I do not have the Chiefs gain the third Super Bowl champion, being the first team to be winning 3 Super Bowl championships in a row. It's just, I think there's too many good teams, and I think they'll have gone through the gauntlet having to play both Buffalo and Houston. I think Philadelphia, even though they played as equally of tough teams as in the Rams and the 49ers, I think this is a revenge of the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And I think Philadelphia is just a tad better than Kansas City Chiefs. Just a tad. So, yeah. So, that's my NFL prediction for the season. Apologies it went so long, but, had a lot to talk about. So, in a couple of days, either Saturday night or Sunday morning, I think I'm going to go through the Vikings schedule and give you my prediction as to how that's going to turn. And yeah. Get ready, guys. It's going to be a fun NFL season, all right? Let us play. No, we'll play that again later, but we want. Come on. NFL theme songs. All right. So, yep. Have a good one, guys. Get ready for that Skull chant come Sunday, all right? See you then.